Hello, dear colleagues. I'm glad to greet you from Ukraine, from Skovoroda Institute of Philosophy of the National Academy of Sciences. My name is Olena Kalantarova, and my presentation is about Buddhist Tantric studies conducted by me and my colleague Andrii Skibitskyi. This is our abstract. The topic of presentation is Buddhism and Deconstruction through the lens of the Kalachakra Tantra text. At first, we would like to demonstrate to you the authentic Tanka that inspired us to investigation the ancient Tibetan tradition. This is a piece from our National Museum of Arts. This Tanka is from the Dolon Nor monastery located in Inner Mongolia, from the collection Hans von Teltein. Our presentation is structured as follows. First of all, I will introduce the short bibliography list and our acknowledgement. Then I focus on the deconstruction trends in the Buddhist Tantric studies. There are 4 points here. And at last, I will complete the speech with our conclusions. Well, allow me to start. At first, we would love to thank Dr. Jan Westerhoff for his willingness to communicate with us. Also, we want to mention the great breakthrough work of Douglas Duckworth about philosophy of Tantra. And of course, we thank Dr. Jensine Anderson for the fruitful dialogue about Kalachakra Tantra and its methodological pluralism. The second part of bibliography list below, it is the short list of literature. These are the researchers who inspired us to search for the truth. The first issue, what we would like to stand up, is the discourse relativism, which can be found in the Buddhist Tantric studies. What does it mean? It means that our research and our conclusions depend totally on our discourse. We called this effect discourse relativism. In Buddhist studies, we have found several discourses in which Buddhist tantras are studied. Sometimes one of these discourses became more popular and then another discourse became the favorite. Due to this migration of scientific sympathies, we can even establish a certain sequence of problems that arose against the background of the study of Buddhist Tantra. For example, we will focus on the Guhya Samaja and Kālachakra Tantras. The first discourse is philological discourse. It is developed as a result of active translations of Buddhist Tantric texts. The next one is the esoteric discourse. It tries to solve the problems of interpretations of the complex Buddhist Tantric symbolism. The next one is historical and philosophical discourse. It is an attempt to see in context the whole variety of possible variants of ambiguous terms of Tantra. The next one is narrow cognitive discourse or interdisciplinary discourse. It is the result of interdisciplinary research, which started with the dialogue between Buddhism and Western science that required the deconstruction of special tantric terminology and science terminology too. And the last one is the interphilosophical discourse. It is the result of comparative philosophy and intercultural philosophy, for which it was necessary to find a mechanism for the deconstruction of all discourses involved in polylogue in search of a polysemantic language. Whether we like it or not, we come to the need to hear each other. And for this, we have to give up our discourse, whether we realize it or not, but we still deconstructed it. We called the infinite potential of the self to generate meanings as self-discursiveness. And such a deconstruction is offered by Tantra, in our opinion. The main instrument of this deconstruction is the mantra, especially seed mantra, which leads us into the boundless field of meanings, which are ekarasa, ruchik, or ekartha, dunchik, non-conceptual emptiness. Perhaps this is how the term appears, sandhyā-bhāṣā. In order not to be unfounded, let's turn to the Kalachakra text and the Vimalaprabha commentary. Kalachakra Tantra, the 5th chapter. Our fragment includes the 96th, 97th, 98th, 99th shlokas. You see these shlokas in Tibetan and in Sanskrit transliteration. Sanskrit transliteration. We see the highlighted works such as Ekarthananta-bhāṣā, Sarvajña-bhāṣā, Deva-bhāṣā. The next slide is our draft translation. This shlokas tells us about the language of our heart. Karthananta-bhāṣā. The shloka said, the infinite language with only one meaning enters the hearts of the living beings with the own nature of each of them. If we take some fragment from the Vimalaprabha introduction, we saw the certain explanation about using of different local languages in Buddha Dharma. You see this fragment from the introduction of Vimalaprabha. Pundarika said, a language that is locally situated in this world is not that of the omniscient one. However, yogin grasps the meaning even from the disqualified words and the local languages. You see, yogin transformed local language into a sandhyā-bhāṣā by one of 10 bodhisattva powers, which is called adhimukti citta. Our conclusions. The hard problem of consciousness is the problem of gap between body and mind. It is solved by speech, like the Buddhist tried body, speech, mind. However, the roots of speech lay in language. To come out beyond language conceptuality that clouds our mind, according to Mahayana, we can practice Tantra. It leads us beyond words and meanings towards direct cognition. At the same time, the language of Tantra, named by sandhyā-bhāṣā, or twilight language, turns into a karthananta-bhāṣā, the infinite of or polysemantic language, in which all of meanings are void. And then the aspirational mind, named adhimukta citta, can open to us Sva Maha Mudra. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, welcome to communicate with us via email. Tashidele.